As we expected, our Western colleagues, first and foremost, neither one of them addressed the substance of the issue we put forward. When my American colleague was throwing thunderbolts and accused us, as we expected, of propaganda, two things came to mind. First of all, Russian saying, according to which a guilty mind is never at ease. The louder people are trying to shift the blame on us, the greater is our conviction that we hit the nail on the head when we're talking about their nefarious activity in Ukraine. Secondly, I remember another story which was mentioned many times and in many contexts about the container shown by the Colin Powell some time ago here in this room, which became the foundation for the United States going into Iraq, and which led to huge level of suffering and victims and destruction, which then reverberated in the whole region, reverberated also in the form of a terrorist organization called ISIL. That is the real Palme d'Or that the Albanian colleague mentioned today in his statement. Many of you said that you are unaware of the military biological programs in Ukraine. That doesn't mean that they didn't exist in actual fact. The military development is a secret enterprise, and those who are involved in that do not report to Ms. Nakamitsu about it. I also recall Iraq and Mosul, which were razed to the ground and buried under their rubble thousands of civilians, and this was done by the forces of the coalition headed by the United States. And the bodies remained there for several months. And I do not recall righteous ire on the part of the colleagues about this. We raised this issue many times, but this died and was buried, and people prefer not to recall that. But on the other hand, we hear every day about the atrocities of the Russian army attacks on hospitals, kindergartens, schools, maternity hospitals using cluster bombs, something that was refuted repeatedly by our Ministry of Defense. The maternity hospital number 1 in Mariupol has become the common parlance in this regard. Let me ask you this. Did you listen to what we said here in this room on Monday, 7th of March, when we said that the fighters, the radicals, converted that building into an attack base? This is something that we warned about even then. Apparently you don't listen or you don't hear what it is that we say. Did you see the photos of the allegedly destroyed maternity hospital, the building of the hospital destroyed by a bomb? What you can see there is a building without windows, but it's not destroyed. Here are the photos. Can you imagine what would have happened to a building if it underwent a bomb strike or shelling, as well as to those who were inside the building? What would have happened to it? So we have the videos from inside the building. Here they are. And they show that there is disorder, overturned furniture, and untouched intact chairs. Once again, can you imagine what kind of destruction would have remained in the wake of a building hit by a rocket or a bomb? Ask military specialists, they will tell you. They have already said that. They show the photos of a crater near the building, which resulted from an exploded mine. At the same time, we are being told about the 17 wounded in the building, and not a single death, by the way. And by way of evidence, what is showed is a false picture of a Ukrainian blogger, Mariana Podgorskaya, here, which She was shot by an AP stringer, Yevgeny Maloletka. This blogger lady is using two different kinds of makeup to present herself as two different women in photographs. And this is something that was revealed by the network users themselves. We are dismayed by the dirty campaign to blame us for intentionally shelling a civilian infrastructure. You are accusing us of propaganda and fake, whilst ignoring a huge number of fakes which are being churned out in Ukraine and in the West, so as to conduct a special psychological operation. At the same time, you coyly going over in silence over the fact that you have basically shut off your access to Russian sources of information. We found a great deal of new things these days about the freedom of speech that you seem to champion. I would like to react now to my UK colleague. She quoted Minister Lavrov incompletely as usual when he said that we did not start the war. This is the exact quote. We did not start this war. We want to end it. And it is true that the war was not begun by us. It started 8 years ago by the Kiev authorities in the Donbas. Yesterday in the internet we show a video where the Ukrainians, where military form near Kharkov, let's say, are shooting down what is supposed to be a Russian plane using a movable rocket launcher. There is a car right next to it, the car in which apparently they used to arrive there. Here's a picture. White color Toyota bearing a logo of the United Nations. We've already asked this question to the representative of this secretariat, and the answer was that UN vehicles are not being used by the Ukrainian territorial defense. We insist on this incident being investigated by the UN. Even it turns out that this is not a UN car. Nonetheless, using a UN logo on a car which is used for military activities is unacceptable.